can start.
Okay,
It's my book.
Oh yeah, can you? Yeah, it's your book.
Well, I finished it. I'm assuming. Well, I don't know. The first question is, did everybody finish the book?
Yes.
Yeah, Leah. This
Karen,
is
you there?
the easiest, shortest book I could possibly pick
Now,
for the
this
summer.
is not based on that, and I do appreciate a good short pick, especially because I've been an a-hole about picking big books. But I really didn't like the book so much so that I actively chose not to read it. I don't, it just, I said this in my PJs, I want to be kind because this is someone's memoirs and that feels extra important and like should be protected a little bit, maybe more. But I just couldn't identify with her at all. And I didn't enjoy her. Obviously, I didn't enjoy the father, obviously. So, and I just was like, I don't want to torture myself with anything I don't like right now because I just was in that place where I was being really selfish about what I want. So there.
I thought you would like the drawings, like the images and
Thought
stuff.
so too. Of all the books this season, I thought this was going to be my book.
We're going to have to find another graphic novel for you to try that has like a lovable character that you might really love.
So I kind of felt the same way as Leah. I did not enjoy the book until I had about 2 or 3 chapters, 2 or 3 chapters left of the book. And I stopped reading it and read another novel, a totally different novel, and only went back to it last week, I guess. And this is what I wanted to know. So the last 2 or 3 chapters, I started actually, I don't know if I softened or if she softened the way she narrated the book, but then I started liking her and her mother and her father at the end of the book.
Maybe I gave up too soon then.
I didn't care for them at all in the middle. I'm like, I don't like any of them. I didn't
agree.
like.
I think that's on purpose.
Oh, you agree?
Though.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I wanted to know. Okay, good.
Because
it wasn't just
she tells the same stories more than once from a different perspective throughout the book. So the stories that are being told at the beginning are kind of told again. They come back to it, like she comes back to it later on. So you kind of like you get more pieces of the puzzle of her relationship with her father as you go further in the book. So right at the beginning, you get the surface information, which is like the first thing you might see about the family was like, this is my dad. He was bad or whatever. He did these bad things or whatever, right? Like there's something messed up about my family. But then later on, you get more deep into kind of like meaning that she's gleaned from these different stories that she's decided to tell in this book. So she goes back to the same moments later on.
Yeah, and at the very end, I mean, it kind of finishes with her father's in the pool and she, as a kid, like jumps into her father's arms as if she's remembering the nice moments as well, as opposed to just the bad moments, right? Yeah. So
yeah, because it was really front loaded with a lot of understandably not enjoying her father. As a reader, how could I view him from any other perspective? And yeah, I just didn't feel a connection with the main character. And I didn't know if that was just my own experience or was that a purposeful writing tactic by the author, that in some ways did she want to create that coldness and that almost non-connection the way it must have been at some points in her life with her own father. I didn't know if she was trying to like mimic that with the author-reader relationship.
I think
maybe. I felt that too. Like I felt like she was so in the middle of the book. I was like, I don't like her at all. Like she seems like she's above her parents. Not that I like her parents anyway, but she seems, I think I even called her pretentious in my second personal journal. I was like, I don't like her at all. And I was like, it's awful. It's a memoir, but I don't like her. I don't like her father. I don't like her mother. I don't like any of them. And then at the end of the book, everything softened. And I kind of understood her mother more with the whole play and her helping her mom do the lines. And then even her dad, like having the heart to heart when he gave her that book, because he knew that she was queer and that he was trying to relate to her, and they had that conversation, and he's like, oh, I had my first experience when I was 14. Like all of those things made it being like, oh, okay, so there was moments. And also him sharing the literature with her, although I was mad at her for quitting English, all the English lit after, but I was like, there's moments. I was so much softer at the end, but I'm glad that other people were too, because I wasn't sure if I softened and I was being.
Don't you think that's like how our relationship with our parents happens? Like for so many people, when you're young, you think like, oh man, my parents are the worst and they don't know anything and I know the way it is. And so maybe all kids go through that period, especially like that they are kind of be acting pretentious and stuff. And then as they start teasing apart and looking at the relationship of their parents, thinking of their parents not just as parents, but as people and their actual experience in life, then your views of them tend to soften. And I think that's kind of a realistic, because it's a memoir, how we sometimes view our parents' faults as like they screwed up or they didn't do it right, but really they're just people. And people, of course, people make mistakes, and it's not intentional. It's not that like they're necessarily that they're bad, although some things in this book are bad, let's just say. But right, like some things I think, but I mean, maybe that's part of it too, right? Like that her relationship with them started off like that, and as she started thinking about it and put it into a memoir, or maybe the reason she put it into a memoir is because she realized something that she didn't when she was younger. I mean, maybe that, again, maybe it was very effectively portrayed for you, the like idea of like, well, I'm a kid, I know everything, and they know nothing, and getting out of this small town feeling. And then the realization later on, the epiphany that your parents are they're just people that were doing what they could do.
Could be that, but the act of writing the memoir was cathartic. And when you're digging through your memories, and by the end, you kind of are feeling more resolved towards the relationships that you had so much trouble with. Like, I mean, I imagine if we all did a memoir, you'd kind of end up there.
Book interrupted. My interruption is a constipated computer. I'm still trying to open the things I need to open to get on to have a group discussion. And this is where we're at. Maybe it's time for a new computer. My frustration level is high. Book interrupted.
This was all, a lot of it was from a journal. So she wrote a journal or her diary. You see her doing that. So she takes that. So it's also kind of, now I didn't even get this. So Mare, thank you. But that when she's writing the journal when she's younger, like it is a lot different than when she's older. And so it's her, like she took all that information. I think I had a quote somewhere in one of my personal journals that it was about her saying that she did do this, like took all the references from her journal. And she said, it was way more interesting, the real facts, than anything I could have made up or remembered, which I thought was nice too.
Do any of you guys journal?
I used to.
Yep.
Used to. Do you journal? No. Yeah.
Kind of.
I don't want anyone.
Do you ever reread? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Do you ever reread what you've written later?
From time to time.
Kara and Mare.
From time to time.
No, never.
No.
And sometimes, right?
No, I don't want to.
Mine are mostly.
I know, right?
Notebooks are like to-do lists mixed with any projects I do and thoughts I have about it. So mine are more like project notebooks.
Achievement oriented.
Yeah.
You have an achievement journal, is what you're saying?
And they're
and it's all
frames
mixed with work even. Like I could look back to like different work projects even. Like I do to-do lists, but I keep them in a journal and I save the journals forever. I have them for like 10 years, like to-do lists from 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. You're even sentimental about it. You are my soulmate.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I was
That's
thinking
great.
the other day how if you or me, like if we were a couple, we would just take on the world.
Oh my
God,
gosh,
the things
could
we
you
get done.
imagine?
Get it done.
Do you know how many
Get it
things would be
done.
Things
planned
would be
and on a to-do list and would actually get accomplished?
It would be great.
And now we're sharing coffee for 20 minutes. Go.
Yeah. Go.
Go.
But you know,
Sometimes I
but
feel
you
like that's
both
the
of
way.
you are in control of that to-do list, right? So I don't know if you two were together, if
Oh,
you
would you-
wanted to do one thing and you want to do the other thing, how would
Do
you
you write your
reconcile?
partner a to-do list, Sarah?
Never. Oh,
No.
I could never. Mamadou would
No,
not put
yeah.
up with that. He'd be like, well,
Would
what
not
is
allow
this?
it.
The only thing I've ever write list-wise is he's like, I'm going to the grocery store, write it in a text to me. I won't remember.
Gotcha.
That's the
Gotcha,
only
gotcha.
list. No. A husband do list, never for my husband. He would be like ripping it up. No.
B kind of does a similar act without actually going through and physically ripping it. He's like shredding it in his mind.
He's just not taking in information, but that's okay. I talk a lot. I would probably edit what I listen to it too if I was married to me.
But I'm a people pleaser. So like our personalities, you could be like, I want to do these things. And I'm like, okay, I'll do the other ones.
Mhm.
No
Yeah.
problem. Check.
Yeah.
As long as we get it done.
As long as we
Exactly.
get
I see
yeah,
it
I
as
think I'm a good teammate. Like I'm always like I want input and I want it's funner when you do it together. I don't know. But you know.
yeah.
And my
I think
hubby's a bit of a
Schweitz, I think their
procrastinator.
love for each other might actually grow more with every item
know,
that
it
they
might be
cross
good.
off the
Because
list.
I'd be like, you like getting shit done? Did we just make bunk beds? Whatever it is from Step Brothers. Yeah. Oh yeah, where did we get? Oh, journaling. That's where we got
Yeah,
off.
sorry, journaling.
yeah.
Go back to
Tangent.
journaling.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have interrupted with my to-do list. It's not a real journal.
No, I love that.
It's
a
fun
more- it's
watching
kind
how
of-
much you guys love
Oh
it.
my goodness, Kara got me this great daily planner. Kara, what's the
It
name?
is
What's
the
the
best.
author? You would love it. Anyone would love it.
Brendan Bouchard's, what is it? High performance something? Is that what it is? It's a
It's in my
journal,
backpack. I
but
can
with
go get it.
prompts to help you simplify and distill down into, for example, I have this horrible
get it, I'll show
habit
you.
of I'll put together a to-do list and I'll be like, I can do 100 things. For sure I can. Like every time. And what this journal prompts you through is to just really focus down that list. Like, what are the top 3 for this sort of category that you can get done? And it just, for people who aren't prone to being more action oriented, the prompts are enough to really just lock you in on, no, it's just these 3 things. And this is how you're going to do it. And this is when you're going to do it.
It's this, and it's
high
called the
performance
High
planner?
Performance Planner.
Let me take a look
And,
because
like,
I think
the-
I found it on Amazon here.
And
Yeah.
it's like laid out, but it has
Oh.
nice stuff. For me, I like it not because I don't get stuff done, but it also has like a morning mindset. So it's like, what's one nice thing I can do for someone in my life today? And like someone who needs me to be on my A game today. And then at the end, it's like evening little journal about that and like how clear were you, clarity, energy, that kind of stuff. I love it. It's like makes you feel so success. It does. It's high performance
It
stuff,
totally.
guys. I feel Sarah's Christmas present looming.
I would never, I would open it for like the first week, maybe, and then never touch it again.
Yeah.
Most of my old journals are just like, they're not about my life. I just like write, just writing, just like
Cool.
Like prose.
sometimes it's related to my life or what's going on around me, but it's more like a story, like storytelling.
That's neat.
Oh.
And sometimes
very
sometimes
neat.
I'd write if I was feeling frustrated or need to get some emotions out. I would write about my life, but it's not like this is what I did today. It's never that. It's just like either working through feelings or like storytelling. Those are all my old
Mm.
journals were like.
That's
Yeah,
really
I have
cool.
similar. Yeah, I have writings everywhere. And some of them, it's usually when I'm angsty and I need to like get it out of me and onto give it to something. So
sure.
Instead of, I don't do, therapy or self-help books or whatever, I do something creative. So, but then I always tell Laird or my parents, is like, if you're ever going through the house and I'm dead and you're going through and you're reading these like crazy shit of things that I've said, like just take it with a grain of salt. It was just, sometimes it's fiction, sometimes it's emotion, sometimes it's whatever, just getting it out of me and into paper so I don't take it out on somebody else. So
that's good.
So I guess I have those.
Yeah.
Not factual.
Sure.
That's kind of like a journal. Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that.
If you've enjoyed these video highlights, listen to the full episode on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when new episodes are published. Find out more by going to www.bookinterrupted.com.
Never forget, every child matters.